Hi everyone, Liz here from Tutor2. I'm joined by Lynn today. Hi Lynn, how are you doing?
Hi everyone.
So we are doing BTEC National Health and Social Care, and first of all we're focusing on Unit 1 and we're going to be looking at social growth and development. I can see that Ruby has already joined us. Hi Ruby. Everyone at home or at school or college, make sure you're a subscriber to our channel so that you can add your answers to our chat and get a shout out. Ruby says, woo! Okay, let's load up our PowerPoint. Okay, so our first activity I think is a Captain Riddles activity. So you probably already know this, but Captain Riddles makes quite a lot of noise. So if you've got your volume turned up loud, mind you don't jump. Okay. So Captain Riddles is going to give us 3 clues and we're trying to work out what the key term is that Captain Riddles is hinting at. So Lynn, I'm going to get you to read out the clues if that's okay. Let's go with the first one.
Okay, so clue 1. It happens in infancy and early childhood.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's remember
Clue
on
2.
social development.
And learning social roles and behaviours.
Okay,
Okay.
that's a good clue, isn't it? I can see quite a lot of people watching, so hopefully you're all having a debate about what the answer is. Final clue now.
And our last clue is learning from family context. So we've got our infancy and early childhood, learning things from family context. What might that be? Got a few people, Liz, already saying something about theory of attachment, but remember that we're on social development today, less about the emotional really. So let's think social.
But thank you very much, Sophie and Katie and Lauren. Nice to see you. Don't think I've seen you on our live streams before, so that's good. Okay, let's recap again, Lynn. Social development.
Yeah, so we start learning in infancy and early childhood in the family context at home. We're learning things from those people around us. What does that relate to in terms of our social development?
Okay, we've got a couple of people saying Bandura's theory. I can definitely see why they're saying Bandura, because Bandura is always all about learning from people, role models, imitation.
Yeah.
But we're thinking more social than that.
I could give a clue. It's
Go on, Lynn, give a clue.
Type of socialisation. It's a type of socialisation. Does anybody know what type of socialisation I might be talking about? If it's for infants and early childhood in the context of family. Any ideas? See if anything comes through. Otherwise, I might have to quiz you, Liz.
Katie has given us the answer. And
well
Sophie.
Done, Katie. Yeah, excellent.
Okay, let's reveal.
It's that primary socialisation, isn't it, that happens at that stage. Well done.
Round of applause. Okay, our next activity is connection wall. So there's quite a lot of reading in this one. So we're going to show you 16 key phrases and they can be grouped into 4 groups of 4. So let me reveal and show you. So there's a lot of reading on there. And what I'm saying is these 16 phrases can be grouped into 4 groups with 4 terms in each one. So I'm going to give you a hint for starting. Look at B2, which says solo. Remember, we're talking about social development. What do you know about that word solo and what other terms on there might that link to? So have a think. If you're in school or college, discuss with your class. If you're in the library, whisper.
Yeah. And you can just write in the chat, A2, C3, D4, whatever you think the connections are, and just list them.
Okay, so Kate's saying types of play. Brilliant, Kate. So what are the other terms on there that also relate to types of play? So we've got solo play. There are 3 other words that go with that.
Yeah. And then think about any other terms on the screen that might relate to a different group of phrases. So give people a bit of time here, Liz. I'm just going to try and make a few connections in my head while people are thinking.
Okay, so Sophie is saying B2 solo play, C4 parallel play,
Yep.
B4 cooperative play, and I've lost her, D4 associative play. Yeah, well done. Brilliant.
Well done.
And also Lauren and Jodie and Kate and Katie. There we go.
We've all got that. Well
done. My next clue, start with C3 that says peer influence. Think about what you know about peer influence, maybe the life stage when that happens, and then look for some other things on that screen or that grid that might go along with peer influence, so a type of social development in a particular life stage. See what you can find. Let me know if you've got any ideas, Lynn, to match with peer influence.
I'm thinking that's a particular time in people's development where it's particularly strong. So I'm looking for other things that relate to that life stage. I've ruled a few out, actually.
Okay.
So I think another one I might be looking at might be the development of strong friendships and intimate relationships, perhaps.
Okay.
During that life stage.
Okay, Katie is saying C3 peer influence, A1 usually become fully independent, A3 experimenting with greater independence. I would say those two are probably in different groups, but I'm with you. D1 strong and intimate friendships. Sophie's saying adolescence. Yep, let's have a look. So we've got aspects of social development in adolescence. So peer influence we know is really strong. Adolescents start exploring their identity, they develop strong friendships, might have intimate relationships. Intimate relationships can mean like a best friend, doesn't necessarily mean a sexual relationship, and they start experimenting with greater independence. Okay, so now let's think about, I'm going to give you a life stage clue. Think about early adulthood and social development. So what pieces on that grid match with early adulthood and social development? Have a think.
Yeah. I think I can see both, Liz, for this one and the next one. Obviously, once you get this one, you what's left goes in the other one, doesn't it? So often people can rule ones out and then it helps them find the right answer.
Absolutely. Okay, Sophie is saying D3, long-lasting friendships. A1, usually become fully independent. B1, forming life partnerships. And C1, expansion of social networks through work. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Lauren's saying the same, so is Katie, and so is Jodie. Well done, guys. Reveal that one. So then the last ones, what do they relate to? Let us know. What life stage? It's obviously social development. What life stage are we talking about? So we've got relying on others for their care, spouses and friends have passed away or may have passed away, lonely and vulnerable stage of life for some people, there may be disengagement from society.
What life stage are we talking here?
So Katie and Sophie, I can see on my second screen, Lynn, they're both saying later adulthood.
Well done.
Brilliant. Well done, everyone.
Really good. Lots of key features there. With the life stages and social development. Well done, everyone.
Cool. Okay, let's have a look at our next activity. So another Captain Riddles, so brace yourselves. Okay, so same as before, we're looking for a key term and we're going to give you 3 clues. Lynn, I'll get you to read those clues out.
Okay, so clue number 1 happens in childhood and adolescence.
Okay, remember social development, everyone.
Yeah, so childhood but then through to adolescence. Clue 2 is picking up values and behaviours from schooling.
I
So
think I know
values
what
and
this one
behaviours
is.
that you're getting in a school context, maybe.
Okay, final
And our
clue.
last clue, number 3, is learning from the media as well. So that could be social media, that could be the broader media. So what happens in adolescence,
Childhood.
early
Childhood and
childhood, that's what I was
adolescence.
trying to say. Early childhood, adolescence, learning values through school, and there can be an influence of the media. What do we think? Oh, brilliant. Katie and Sophie straight in there with secondary socialization.
Excellent, well done.
Fabulous. Well done, guys.
I've actually got a new noise to try today. It's called Party Blower. Should we see what it's like?
Yeah, let's do it.
Did you hear it?
Oh, that sounded like a balloon dying a little bit, didn't it?
It's not as exciting as this one. That was better.
That's my fave. Yeah, I think Jodie and Sophie definitely deserve that one, and Katie,
Yeah.
well done.
Okay, next we have a chili quiz. We're going to give you a 60-second musical timer, and we're going to put 3 questions on the screen. There is one that's rated mild, one spicy, and one hot. So in theory, they get harder. So let's have a look at your questions. So your mild question is identify one example of a formal relationship and one example of an informal relationship. So you can just type in the chat informal and then give us the answer, formal, the answer. Question 2, describe one positive benefit of friendship for a 20-year-old single mother. And then for question 3, describe 2 ways starting employment may impact someone's social development. So try and tell us at the beginning of your answer whether you're answering number 1, 2 or 3, otherwise it could get a bit chaotic. Let's have some music.
Brilliant. A few people, Liz, I can see are writing boss. How would we say that in more health and social care language? Okay, so maybe give us that word in a more health and social care friendly way. Okay, we've got some excellent answers coming here.
Brilliant.
So we're talking about examples of formal relationships and an example of informal. So when we think about formal, some people have said boss. So you might be able to say that in terms of line manager, maybe, or work colleagues. Perhaps could be more formal. You might talk about health and social care professional there as well. And then your your informal relationships here, you've talked a bit about boyfriends, mother. What else have we got? Oh, they're all disappearing off my screen now. But anything, friends and family, anything informal, brilliant. And then benefits of a friendship for a 20-year-old single mother. We've got generally talking about social interaction, forming relationships. Just having a little look. Jodie's written a really nice answer here. It may get slightly lonely looking after a child on her own, so new interactions might boost her mental health. That's a lovely answer.
Yep. So Sophie was talking about support.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, more support. So you've definitely given us 2 spicy answers there. And then thinking about 2 ways starting employment may impact someone's social development. So I really like Katie's answer because she's talked about new bonds with co-workers can encourage socialization. Talking to customers encourages small talk and improves communication and socialization.
Brilliant.
Social skills. So I really like that. You'll have a better social life. You'll be able to go out with your co-workers. I like that, Linetti. And can you see any others there, Liz?
Linetti also said, on the flip side, you might have less time to meet with friends if you're starting employment, which is good to consider the other side.
Yeah, absolutely. Because sometimes impacts can be positive impacts or negative impacts, can't they?
Katie's got... Oh, you read out Katie's, didn't you, about communication? Yeah.
Yeah,
Lauren
and just
said more social interactions and forming relationships. Yep.
brilliant. I think everyone's pretty strong on this,
Very
aren't they? In
good.
terms
Yeah.
of the benefits of social interaction. Well done, everyone.
So we've got formal relationships, GP, teacher, dentist, informal friends, family, neighbours, benefit for a single mother of having a friendship. We said create a support system of people who may be going through the same thing, ensuring that they do not feel alone. And then for impact on employment on social development, we said may form new friendships from interacting with people, may become more independent as managing own finances and time. Brilliant.
Lovely.
Okay, let me make sure I've got my comments down to the bottom so I don't miss any. Okay, 4, 3, 2, 1. So Lynn and I like these. You're going to have to give us 4 of something, 3 of something, 2 of something, and 1 of something, which is why you have 2 minutes. So let's have a look at your task. So we want those 4 stages of play that we had at the beginning of the stream. We want 3 examples of why friendship is important, 2 examples of peer pressure, and 1 example of maturity. So we're going to give you 2 minutes for this and write your answers in the chat.
Brilliant.
5, 4, 3,
My favourite music as
2.
well.
1.
Okay, Jodie's in already with the 4 stages of play.
Well done, Judy. That's brilliant.
You can have a bonus mark if you write them in the right order.
So we'll give that to, not quite,
Not
Sophie.
quite. Nearly.
Can anybody put them in the right order? You've got the right ones. Very close. So feel free to answer any of these questions as well. There might be one that you feel stronger on rather than others.
I think Katie gets the bonus point.
Well done, Katie. Yeah, she's got them in the right order. That's brilliant. So what about examples of why friendship's important, or examples of peer pressure, or one example we want of example of maturity?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, let's reveal the stages of play because we definitely got that one, didn't we?
Yeah, well done, everyone. That's excellent.
So that is the order that they first appear in a child's development. So they might switch between them, but they first develop solo play, then they develop parallel play skills, then associative, and then cooperative. Okay, so I've already forgotten what 3 was. 3 examples of benefits of friendships, was it?
Yeah, well done. Yeah.
Don't think we've
We've got some.
Oh, there we go, yeah.
I think Katie's given us answer to that one. So builds bonds, helps emotional development, and helps social development.
Nice.
So I would probably be a little bit more specific than that, Katie, about how does it develop social and emotional development. But I like that you've put build social bonds. So you've got those bonds, those connections that you've got. You might develop supportive relationships out of that, mightn't you? Lauren's come in now with 3 reasons. So she's been a little bit more specific. So maintain self-esteem or could increase self-esteem, boosts mental health and makes people happier, and helps form trusting relationships. Nice. I really like that. So that's for our 3rd one.
Okay, let's have a look at that one.
Yeah, let's have a little look there.
So we've got provides a support system, avoids feelings of isolation and can reduce stress. So number 2 was 2 examples of peer pressure, wasn't it?
Yeah, and Lauren's given us some answers about that. She said pressurising someone to drink or smoke, or pressurising somebody to buy something, or to give you money, for example. So, yeah.
Yep.
And Katie's come in similarly talking about, any of those sort of more unhealthy lifestyle habits, drinking or smoking, or but you really like that, Katie. You've given examples of positive peer pressure. So that might lead to improved grades from studying if you're
nice.
around somebody who's encouraging you to do that. So that's great, because it can be
Very
positive or
good.
negative effects.
So we've just got the smoking and the alcohol, the kind of like the old faithful ones. Okay, so I've forgotten what number 1 was. Oh, an example of maturity. So I see Lynette's given us some physical examples, but we're doing social development today. So what about thinking about maturity in terms of social maturity?
Yeah. How do you know you're sort of socially mature in that way? Any ideas? Take a guess.
Shall we have a look?
Yeah, let's see what we got.
Oh, okay. Katie's saying building intimate and long-lasting relationships. Yeah, that could definitely be part of maturity.
Really nice answer there.
Lauren's saying good manners. Yeah, that could be social skill, good social skills.
Yeah.
Being aware of social, norms, values.
And cues,
yeah.
Things like that. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, let's have a look at what we've got.
Yeah.
Staying out later. Yeah. So, yeah, I put intimate relationships, which is what Katie was saying. But yeah, you've got some good ideas there, guys. Well done. Let's have a round of applause.
Yeah, really good.
I think an air horn for Katie for some really good answers there.
Great air horn.
Okay,
Love
Lynn, over to you for this one.
Okay, so I quite like these. These are connection spinners. So we're going to spin the wheel there, as you can see, and we want you to answer the question about how does social development link to whatever we land on. Okay, so Liz, I'll get you to spin the wheel. So how does social development link to...
See where it's going to land.
Okay, play. So can you give me in the chat how social development links to play? So how is children benefiting socially from play? How does it link to play? What's the point of play, really? So any ideas?
We've talked about it a lot without actually making an explicit link to social development, haven't we?
Yeah. We're really good at our types of play and what order they go in. Mm-hmm. But how does it link to social development? Give people a second to think about that.
I'm sure you guys have watched things like Secret Life of 4-year-olds, Old People's Home for 4-year-olds, or 5-year-olds, yeah.
6-year-olds, yeah.
Or you might have younger siblings, actually, that are in early childhood, or cousins.
Yeah. And there's kind of different social developments that come out of the different stages as well, aren't they? That kind of build that social development over time. Okay, so we've got something from Lauren here. She's talked about improving and forming relationships. So that's really nice, isn't it? Through playing with people, you can start to build those relationships and get to know people. Improving communications between children, and also learning to share and learning to play together. So that might be learning how to sort of follow rules, for example. Sophie's talked about lots about communication skills. So social development through play, we're building those communication skills, we're building our relationships. I really like what Katie said about learning empathy. So, being able to consider other people's feelings. It's really important to learn that through play. And Lynette, improving relationships with those around them through play. This can be at any stage. Yeah, so it just builds, doesn't it, over time?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
That's really nice.
Okay, what do we have? So we've just written, children learn to interact and communicate with others through play. So yeah, they're developing loads and loads of skills, aren't they? Okay,
Excellent.
Let's have another spin, I think.
So how does social development link to... Okay, leaving home. This is an interesting one, isn't it? So if you're leaving home, particularly when you sort of, gone through adolescence, how might your social development change? Give us some ideas. You guys are probably not that far off that stage. So thinking about that.
sure we're going to get some good answers, Lynn. We've got really good students
Yeah.
today.
I'm thinking about all the things that people might do when they leave home. They might go to university, they might go and live in a shared house, mightn't they? They might go and live on their own. So there could be positive or negative effects. Okay, we've got Katie. She's talked about more independence and more responsibility. You may have more time to spend with your friends as you have your own space. So you might actually build those friendships more. That's really nice. Should we have a look what we put, Liz?
Oh, we've just got one from Sophie just popped up.
Oh, yeah.
So new friendships, more independence, less close family relationships. Yeah, that's definitely possible. And then Lauren's saying forming new professional and informal relationships, for example, landlords. Yeah, really good. New flatmates. Might limit your interactions if you don't socialise with others in your space. Yeah, there's positives and negatives to it, isn't there? So we said becoming independent, learning to be self-reliant, maybe juggling your finances and being responsible for household chores. So remember that our social development does always link to other elements of our development as well. And in fact, you know, this is one of the things that we struggle with sometimes in formulating our answers is all our different pies, areas of growth and development do overlap and do feed into each other, don't they? And I think social development particularly does that. Okay, let's have a look at our next activity. So give me 3. So give us 3 ways that social development can change in later adulthood. So remember what age range that is and think about what can change in terms of social development, social life. It's not very long. Okay, while we wait, Lynn, I think we'll show our answers because we are running out of time quite quickly.
Yeah, let's have a
carry
little
on
look.
typing your answers at home or school or college. So you might have more free time to develop friendships because generally you're retired in later adulthood. So you could take up new hobbies as well, which might improve your social life. Or you could have decreased social interactions. For example, maybe some of your friends may have passed away, so your social circle gets smaller. What have we got in our chat, Lynn?
We have similar. So Lauren's saying you could have less interaction with family or friends, or you might have more. So I think you could go either way, couldn't you? More free time for hobbies. So Sophie's talked a bit here about less socialization. I mean, if you developed a health condition, that might impact on your socialization, mightn't it? But more free time for hobbies, more time with friends, like you say, because they could be retired. And Katie, really nice answer here. Friends might pass away due to bereavement. More time to friends with friends as maybe retired and less able to see them as unable to drive or less mobile. That's very true, isn't it?
That's a very good point. Yeah. Okay.
Brilliant.
So that is the end of our live stream. Well done, everyone. Let's have a final air horn.
Yeah.
If you are studying for Unit 3 Anatomy and Physiology, join us in 15 minutes. I will be doing Unit 2 at 1:30 today. And then we're not doing any more live streams this week because Lynn and I have got various things happening. But we will be here next Tuesday lunchtime for the same again. Thank you so much. You've been awesome. Take care. Have a great week. Bye, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.